Hi, I'm Betty McLean, and welcome to Healthcare Hope, a podcast for nurses. With 2 decades of bedside experience and now as a certified burnout coach, I understand the challenges nurses face. I believe that all stress is manageable and burnout is not inevitable. Join me in building strength for yourself and hope for the future of our industry. Welcome to Healthcare Hope, the podcast where we explore the challenges and triumphs of nursing with a focus on preventing burnout and finding fulfillment in your career. I am your host, Betty McLean, and today we're tackling a topic that really can make or break your experience as a nurse, and that is perfectionism. More importantly, we're going to talk about how embracing excellence instead of perfectionism can lead to a healthier, more rewarding career. I want to start with a quote from Aristotle that sort of captures the essence of how I think about excellence in contrast to perfectionism. I want to start with a quote from Aristotle that captures the essence of our discussion today. Excellence is never an accident. It is always the result of high intention, sincere effort, and intelligent execution. It represents the wise choice of many alternatives. Choice, not chance, determines your destiny. Isn't that a powerful perspective? Excellence is a choice, one that allows us to thrive rather than being trapped in the impossible pursuit of perfection. So, let me explain how I use the term perfectionism for the purpose of this podcast and in my coaching practice. Perfectionism is the drive to do everything perfectly, to be perfect, everything without a flaw. This drive usually comes from a place of needing to prove your worthiness and fear that if you are not perfect, you will be rejected in some way. Often, this tendency is established early in life when we get rewarded for being an A+ student or doing things right or perfect, and ignored or even punished for less than perfect work. It is a very human tendency to work to prove worthiness and to do everything we can to avoid being rejected. And while it's normal, it can be really damaging, especially as a nurse trying to deliver care to sick patients without sliding into burnout and overwhelm. So now that you have that understanding of the way I think of perfectionism and why it might be a problem, let's dive into why choosing excellence over perfectionism is a healthier mindset and also the key to finding long-term satisfaction in nursing. First, let's talk about growth. One of the biggest downsides of perfectionism is that it can make us really terrified of failure. When you become fixated on avoiding mistakes at all cost, and that mindset keeps you in that stuck, scared place, you really spend your day walking on eggshells all the time, terrified of making the wrong decision, the wrong move. And here's the thing, nursing is a profession where continuous growth is essential. The best nurses are those who embrace learning, even if it means acknowledging your mistakes along the way. It can be hard to admit that we don't have the answer or we did something wrong, but that's what learning is. When we focus on being excellent instead of being perfect, we see every experience and even the challenging experiences as opportunities to learn and to improve. Excellence as a mindset and a way of thinking isn't about getting everything right every time. It's about getting better every day. Nursing is unpredictable. One moment you're calm, the next minute you're in the middle of a crisis. Perfectionism and people who struggle with perfectionism, they really struggle when things don't go according to plan. It's not safe when things go off the rails. The pressure to maintain control and to get things right can lead to a lot of overwhelm and a lot of anxiety. Now, contrast that when your mindset is that of striving for excellence. You're actually building resilience. You're not derailed by setbacks, you adapt. Nurses who prioritize being excellent understand that unexpected challenges are just part of the job, and they find ways to stay calm and creative under pressure. Excellence teaches us to be flexible, to pivot, and encourages us to grow stronger through adversity rather than avoiding it the way perfectionism wants us to do. Think about it this way: nursing is all about problem solving. When we let go of the need for everything to be perfect, we open ourselves up to finding solutions that we may not have seen before. Another critical aspect of excellence as a mindset is maintaining perspective. Perfectionists often zero in on their mistakes or what went wrong, and that narrow focus can overshadow their successes. It's so easy to fall into that trap, especially in a high pressure, high performance environment like healthcare. But when you're pursuing excellence, you can maintain a more balanced view. You acknowledge your strengths as well as your areas for growth and improvement. You can give yourself credit for your hard work and the progress you're making. This healthier mindset helps prevent the emotional toll of always feeling not good enough that comes with being more perfectionistic. Excellence allows room for self compassion, which is absolutely necessary for thriving in the nursing profession. One thing that often gets overlooked when talking about perfectionism is how it impacts teamwork. Perfectionism can make you feel like you have to do everything yourself because asking for help might seem like admitting weakness, or they might not do it as good as you. But of course, we know that in nursing, collaboration is key. Nurses who value excellence know that it takes a whole team to provide the best patient care. They don't hesitate to ask for input or seek help from coworkers. And they know that their coworkers should be growing and getting better too. This mindset fosters a more supportive and cohesive work environment where everybody feels empowered to contribute. When we embrace excellence, we stop seeing it as my success or my failure, and we focus on the collective success of the team and ultimately the well being of our patients. Lastly, let's talk about your well being. Perfectionism often comes with unrealistic expectations and a lot of self imposed pressure. The result of that? Burnout. By focusing on excellence, we can shift that mindset. Excellence is fulfilling because it's rooted in personal growth, making meaningful contributions, and knowing that you're doing your best. There's more joy, more satisfaction, and less burnout. Excellence allows us to recognize that we're all human. We make mistakes, we face challenges, but we are constantly evolving and improving. This approach allows us to sustain our passion for nursing and continue to make a positive impact without losing ourselves in the process. So, here's the ultimate takeaway: perfectionism might seem like something to strive for, but it's ultimately unobtainable and unhealthy. Excellence, on the other hand, is dynamic, achievable, and far more fulfilling. If you find yourself acting from your perfectionistic tendencies, ask yourself if you could demonstrate excellence instead, and what would it look like in the situation you find yourself in? By choosing excellence, we commit to growth, resilience, collaboration, and well being. This shift in mindset doesn't just help us as an individual, it makes us better nurses, better coworkers, better caregivers for our patients, and it makes us happier and more fulfilled in our personal lives as well. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. If it resonated with you, make sure to subscribe and share it with your nursing friends and your coworkers. Remember, excellence is a choice we make every day, one that leads to a healthier, more balanced nursing career. Thank you for listening today. If you're ready for support and looking for a community of like-minded healthcare professionals, join me in my free private Facebook group called Healthcare Hope with Coach Betty. If you found this episode helpful or encouraging, please share it with your friends and fellow nurses. Subscribe to the podcast and leave a review. Together, we can create strength for our lives and hope in healthcare.